Testing, 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 testing. One, two, three. I'm testing it. I'm testing it. I'm testing you. 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 Okay, so I got on. I was waiting to. I wasn't. I was gonna get on earlier, but then I got into a writing thing. My hand is my left forearm is broken, so I can't really write right now with both hands, and it makes it really cumbersome and shitty to write anything. So and I've just had a bunch of ideas today, which sucks. It really sucks. That's the For me. I've really this break has opened my eyes to how lucky I am to have you know appendages that work. Um, I'm really grateful for that. And once this shit heals, oh man, I can't wait. I'm gonna be doing so much more writing and things with both that require both of my appendages, and I just want to heal up so quickly. But I was thinking, I don't know if they have this. I wanted to take a note down, but I just figured I'd just get on and say it. I wonder if they have this. If they have a gun holster where it's an electronic gun holster, okay? And there's plenty of electronic gun holsters, but the difference is, okay, so you could have this on your hip. It would be kind of large. I admit it would be kind of large, but you could have this on your hip, and or you could take it off and like put it on a table or put it somewhere, knowing that no one could really get into it. But the point being, eh, I would like to have a gun holster that you could either have on your hip or have somewhere, but when you put your hand in it, okay? Because the gun is, mostly in the holster. It's mostly covered in the holster, and when you put your hand in it, it reads, okay, first of all, it reads your palm print or whatever, it reads your hand print so that it unlocks, right? So that the holster unlocks the gun. But the different and they have that. They already have that. The difference is this one would unlock depending on how you're grabbing for the gun in either a safety, either in a safety mode or with safety mode off, right? And you could do, and this is an idea. This is a great idea. This is a great idea because you could do this for all different types of guns. It would unlock in a safety or unsafety mode, okay? And I thought this is what I also thought would be cool is if you could have it where, okay, you put the gun in the holster, or you put the gun in the holster without a clip, then you put the clip mostly in, and then the gun goes a little bit further in and locks in, so that you could either pull out the gun without the clip, right? Like, so let's say a part just drops out, so you could pop the clip out and pull the gun out without the clip, or you could pull the gun out, clip popped in, okay, safety on. You could pull out the gun without the clip, that's one option, with the clip in, safety on, or another option, with the clip on, or with the clip in, safety off. And it's depending on like how you grab for the gun, okay? Like, I imagine, you know, having the clip pop out, that ability, that would be something that's not something that you would immediately have to do quickly, you know? If you're grabbing for a gun and you need to get it immediately out of the holster, that reading, that hand position would be, specifically for that type of hand movement, that type of action, that type of uh, locomotion. But having it where you have the clip popped out, that could be like something where you put your hand on the outside first, it reads it once, you put your hand out on the inside again, it reads it again, pop, clip comes out, instead of where if you want the safety on, you slide it in, double tap something real quick, safety comes out, or say the gun comes out, safety off, clip in. I don't know if they have that, but I think that would be really great. I think that'd be really a good a good safety measure, and something more innovative. And like I said, you could do it with multiple firearms. If that it got big, if that was something that caught on, then you can go around and have like a licensing for all like different types of firearms. But that was one idea. So let me get into actual music because I'm gonna lose my inspiration here in a second if I don't get my shit together. And I realized something else. So by trade, by passion, I'm a writer. That's who I am. That's what I naturally am. What I do. I have a talent in the kitchen, cooking and stuff like that. I just have a natural palate that I'm good at pairing things and just conceptualizing different dishes and stuff. And that's something I've done and actually to make money before, Writing, on the other hand, is something that's like a personal passion thing. And one of the things that I've worked on, my seminal work, the work that all other works would look upon, uh, it's kind of a catch-all. I was looking for an answer of what is reality, right? What really is the universe and what's around us? And at the time, I was getting into things like superstring theory, and now that's everywhere. That's the multiverse. That is the multiverse. And if we have a holographic world, then more than likely it is a multiverse. But I need to go get more ice, so I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So superstring theory, all that different stuff. What up, my writings? The my magnum opus, the story that I'm writing, that incorporates all these things. That's looking for the answer of the universe type of stuff. Um, the reason why all these things are important is because, okay, if you don't believe in multiverse, if you don't believe in the multiverse, if you don't believe in the multiverse, okay, then you don't believe in time travel. Why is this? Because if we're able to go back in time, right, a point fixed in time where we weren't originally or where we were at another age, that would be breaking the fabric of time, which would create a tangential universe. Or it would be not creating one, just traveling to one that's already there. And a movie that explains this, uh, which is a weird movie, but is a very Masonic movie, is The Flash. And I like the film for a few reasons, but then ultimately the film falls falls under the weight of itself and its material. Uh, but The Flash is about, what is it about? It's exactly about why time travel and the multiverse are linked together. Because if you go back in time, you're able to alter the past. You're able to alter a fixed point in time, which then would alter, like a domino effect, everything that happened before it, and thus erasing the timeline or replacing the timeline which you came from, or creating it like Flash, like the evil Flash does. So that is why the multiverse and time travel are linked. And you have things like Everything All Films Everywhere All at Once, which talks about traversing the multiverse. Okay? And it's ludicrous and stupid, but there are things about it that are true. That's my opinion, that are true. Which it's about traversing the multiverse. And how do they do it? They do these little weird, mundane, innocuous, like little random things, like doing paper cuts, turning this way instead of that way, right? And they're hopping through these different multiverses, some that are just literally like a liminal space, like a weird space, like that doesn't even make sense, like when they're rocks, right? Like when they're rocks, or when they go into Raccoony, when they go into Raccoony's world, and it's like Ratatouille but with a raccoon, and it's in the real world. Um, that is a sort of liminal space, a pseudo universe, a universe that is created between two other universes. It's like this universe saw Ratatouille, and this universe saw Ratatouille, and they were a little bit different, but they both had a dream about it, which created another timeline, which created another universe where, hey, this actually exists. This actually exists because the way consciousness works is completely different than we understand. We understand the material world as material, as solid, not as vibration and atoms, and we see consciousness as a creation of this, when in reality it's something that's there already reacting to this new thing that's being incorporated into this new thing. Consciousness is already there, that's incorporated into this new thing. And when it's pure consciousness, like Akira, then pure consciousness can create anything at any point in time, absolutely out of pure light, out of pure consciousness. So there is a space in between what we would consider the material realm, our fucking four dimensions, and the multiverse of those four dimensions, the different branching paths of those dimensions. There is a liminal space where pure consciousness is able to conjure and manipulate and create actual realities that exist in between these spaces. It's almost like, okay, there's a huge fandom of this anime, let's say One Piece, because everybody's fucking retarded over that shit. Everybody's a fandom of One Piece. Great. So that's a fake fucking thing that doesn't exist. That's a liminal space. That's a separate reality. That's a fictional reality, right? I'm calling it a liminal space because it's an empty space being populated by very obvious reoccurring patterns that are refractions of what our idea of something is, like hallways, basements. These are liminal spaces. These are symbolic places of different things, and so there are symbolic realities, but I'm going through so much right now because I don't know why. I'm just on this shit right now. You know what? It's because I just got some good weed, and I'm in a state where it's recreationally legal, but I have an injury, so it's kind of helping with the pain. But anyways, what I realized today, going through what I've been going through with a particular person, where it's like this person presents themselves a certain way, but in reality they're not at all that way. In reality, and you want to believe it. They're beautiful, so that's a very easy thing to be like, oh wow, they're beautiful, so I'm going to give them a bunch of credit and credence and stuff because they're pretty to look at, or they're sexually attractive, or whatever the fuck it is. And then they have, I'll tell you this. With beauty comes discipline. So whether that is, I'm going to go to the fucking surgeon all the time and I'm going to get, Botox, or I'm going to fucking get my hair done all the time, or I'm going to go to the gym all the time, or I'm going to get good at putting on makeup, or I'm going to fucking get good at curating, outfits. Beauty requires discipline, a certain type of discipline, and that's often reflected in someone's physical appearance. And so that's one reason there is an attraction, is because there's a certain discipline, and if that discipline extends to other positive things, then you're like, oh, okay, this person's great. But in reality, when those things are merely an extension of that superficiality, that discipline is no longer about the discipline. It's really about an extension of this superficiality and this insecurity. Then that is not a good thing. And this thing that I've been going through, this person, and coming to the conclusion of like, okay, you already knew this person was this way, but you didn't really want to accept it because you like to see the good in people, and hope that prevails. And everybody has faults. Everybody has faults. It's it's the issue of not being fully aware of one's faults, and being egotistical, and all those things that come with egotism, which is pride, you know, arrogance, enviousness, you know, insecurity, wanting to be right, you know, undermining others. And so now that I finally accepted that this person is just kind of a shitty person masquerading as someone great, which is actually pretty harsh, you know. That's a pretty harsh thing to say, you know. You're a shitty person masquerading as someone great, but it's the truth. And what I realized coming to this conclusion is, we think of points and coordinates and locations and places through coordination, you know, through coordinates, through numbers, through you know, distances and time, and that's how we navigate. You know, if we had a teleporter, we would put in the coordinates, the time, you know, the different requirements to give a proper geographical location and time and place, you know. Because if you had a teleporter, you'd have to think about the time of teleportation. How long will it take to teleport me there, you know? Is it instantaneous? And if it's instantaneous, how instantaneous is it? Is it a tenth of a second? Is it a minute? Is it 30 seconds? Is it 15 seconds? Is it a third of a second? Well, what are we talking here? So there has to be time. And I was thinking, you know, because what I write, the big thing that I'm writing, because it's supposed to be a metaphorical and fictional recounting and accounting of what reality is, and an explanation and a story around it to accompany it. And it's a code. This story is a code that I have to crack. Because, and I'm glad I haven't. I'm glad I didn't sit down years ago and just power through and just try to come up with everything, because so much has evolved. And it's funny, because years before the multiverse, we're talking about the 2001, 9. We're talking about 9/11. We're talking about before 9/11. We're talking about, since I was a child, I've been wanting to write something that explains everything, because I wanted to understand what reality was, what the truth of reality was. I wanted to figure it out, and I wanted to write it down. And I wanted to write stories. And what I realized is, there's a component. There's always been this is not the realization, but there's always been a component of this story that is about the multiverse, that is about superstring, and this is the very basic foundation of what this story is trying to convey, and trying to convey what is consciousness. And I realized the easiest way to jump, and the way I worded this was continuum. We are on a continuum. Let me make sure this is the correct, because this is something about being a writer, in my opinion. Maybe it has a deeper, complex thing. Maybe it has something to do with an extrasensory component. Um, uh, so it's hard to say it like this, but there's been people in the past that have been called prophets that could see into the future. Sometimes they've been people that are scientists. They've been physics. These are the prophets. These are the current prophets. Are theoretical physicists. Okay, those are the modern day prophets who are trying to figure out the fabric of reality, okay, and give you the weather, you know, in a metaphorical terms, of the next couple years, of what's happening, of what happens if you do that, prob the predictability and probability. That's what they're doing. They're trying to crack the code of predictability and probability, and they've been doing this with algorithms. But there's other natural ways, because that's the fabric of the universe. It's not just the fact that, okay, we're doing these theoretical calculations, and sometimes they hit. Like when we do calculations of, okay, this is what it's going to take to get to this planet. If we want to go to this planet and put a probe on this planet, this is the type of calculations we're going to have to do, and with the right probability, the timing, and all those factors are correct, we're going to do it. And that's how that works. And so and it works like that because that's how physics works. That's how the universe works. Okay? That's how space and time works. And there's a way to tap into that. We are tapping into physics. We are using physics and space and time and the universe around us to say, we're going to take this rocket and we're going to fucking go over there to that planet, and we're going to put a probe down, and we're going to see if there's any fucking aliens or fucking things to eat or drink, basically, or if there's a nice view that we can go set up shop. But there's a natural way to do these things because it's built in. And I call what we are on, if we are on the same, and this is, I think, I'm stating this now, not really thinking about it prior, but maybe there's a few of us on the exact same continuum. So what is a continuum? A continuum, noun, a continuous sequence in which adjacent elements are not perceptibly different from each other, although the extremes are quite distinct. At the fast end of the fast-slow continuum, the set of real numbers. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. A continuum is something that keeps on going, changing slowly over time, like continuum of 4 seasons. Addition to, yes. A continuum, okay? So we are on the same continuum. And if you want a continuum shift, which in reality is changing the universe you're in. So Doctor Strange in the multiverse. Let's go to Doctor Strange in the multiverse. In that movie, that girl, what's her name, America? Or something like that? I forget. But she can go through the multiverse. Okay? She can go through the multiverse. Okay? But how does she do it? How does she go through the multiverse? Okay? And this is me thinking out loud, because this is me actually analyzing this theory that I'm coming up with and putting it together with these already pop culture references that are already there, which are actually, influenced by real theoretical science and stuff, because a lot of these people, talk to science, a lot of these writers, it's very interesting. But how does she do it in the movie? She gets angry. She has an extreme emotion, and then she expels that emotion through a physical action. Okay? She uses her emotion to open portals and go into different dimensions. And this is me putting all this together and realizing I am on some sort of path with this. But I believe, and this is something that I will incorporate into my writing, and I'm going to have it down in this video so that I can look back onto it if I need to. But one of the fastest ways you can move through the multiverse, which we don't even perceive, which we do not perceive, but is 1,000,000% true when you actually think about it. When you actually think about it, what I'm gonna say is gonna blow your asshole out your fucking brain. Or your brain out your asshole. Vice versa, whatever. The fastest way to move through the multiverse is to make someone or you have an intense emotion of someone else, i.e., I like this person, I don't like this person. We like each other, we don't like each other. We love each other, we don't love each other. Because when you get, that's a continuum shift. A continuum shift. Because you think about it. If you were to go back in time and something altered and changed, you could have been best friends with your worst enemy. And that would have been a completely different reality. So, without even perceiving it, when we decide to like something or dislike something and have an intense emotion or something like that, and it's then perceived and ripple throughout the world around us and perceptively by someone else. So if we were like really good friends with someone for a long time, and then we just went up to them and said, "You're a fucking bitch," or just fucking said something to them that really put them on the offensive and made you two not friends anymore, that is a continuum shift. Or vice versa. Someone that that's what I realized, because in reality that's how consciousness is. That's what consciousness is. What's observing everything. And I don't know if everyone's like this. Some people may be quote unquote NPCs and just holographic, and NPCs in a that's a very stupid way to put what I'm trying to say, but if we're in a holographic universe in reality, then there's and everything around us is vibrational and holographic. At the very basic, the atoms, you break it down, it's just vibrating strings, which is superstring theory. It's just sound. It's literally just vibrating sound. It's literally like tuning into a radio station. Like, imagine like a desk was rap, a TV was rock, a car was classical. So you're fucking tuning that radio to what you want to hear or what you want. I'm going to tune it so I have a car. So I'm listening to classical. I gotta listen to classical to get that car. It's that type of perceptibility of what reality is. It's vibrating fucking strings at the very core of it. And it's how we harmonize. And so at the very basis, it's just all vibrating strings. When we harmonize to a certain frequency, we're creating the world around us. And one of the most powerful things we can do to change that and to change what universe we're rolling in is our perceptibility of people. Of like, oh, I hate this person, or I like this person. And that's what I just realized today. I was like, thinking about the story, just thinking about just different things actually, and it always returns back to this story, is what I should say. Things that I'll think when I have epiphanies, I'll be like, how does this? Because like I said, the story is supposed to be a theory of like everything through a fictional narrative. This story is supposed to explain aliens, ghosts, time travel, what is consciousness, what is time, what really is gravity, how many dimensions are there. It was at a time when I was really getting into theoretical physics, at a very young age. When did When did these? Let me check when these books came out. String theory. Aha, here we go. Let's see. When did this come out? When was this published? Wow, it came out in 1999. So in 1999, I was what, 12 years old? I was really young in 1999. Well, that's how old I am now. I'm pretty old. But yeah, I was like around 12 years old, I want to say, in 1999. So I read those books really young. And those are one of the things I was like, okay, it 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 colored my mind as to what reality and time and what the extraordinary limitations or the things that we can't perceive, really are. And so the easiest way to move through the multiverse is to, so, and it's true because imagine, and I think this is possibly why there's also this big culture, unspoken culture of like me, of being of like politicians. You got like me. I'm Hillary Clinton. Like me. I'm Kim Kardashian. Like me. I'm a famous person. This rapper Kanye West. Like me. Who else can I think? I'm a fucking movie star, Robert Downey Jr. Like me, like me, like me, like me, like me. I'm this influencer. Like me, like me, like me. I'm a Twitch streamer. Like me, like me, like me, like me. Because if you can get the whole world to like you, that's a very interesting reality to live in. That's a very, let's say it's a very desirable reality to live in, where everybody likes you. And you know what? In many aspects, when people go, if you were to say, I want to go back in time, the things you would change are so that you would be benefited, so that people like you, so that you get rewarded for the things you always wanted to get rewarded for, and accolades and noticed. It's for people to like you, to make money, to be, to be perceived as a success, to be to be perceived as a success and someone who's successful and wealthy and intelligent, to be liked, to be liked, to be liked. So if you can change people's perceptibility about you, you are actually moving through a multiverse. You are moving through space and time laterally, and we don't even perceive it. So you think about moving through space and time forward, 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 forward. I drank a glass of water. I'm gonna pee later. You don't think about, you know, oh, what if I drank, if what if I did just that lateral movement of it not being water, or just that there's a lateral and everything all at once. That's one movie that kind of does it to the extreme. In one, they have sausage fingers. Jamie Lee Curtis and the other woman, who are enemies, who don't like each other because she's auditing. Michelle Yeoh is being audited by Jamie Lee Curtis, and her business is being audited, and they don't like each other in the main universe. But in a different universe, they're actually lovers. But that universe is so completely different that they have sausage fingers, and it's the most stupidest ass movie. But in that sense, it's showing that the biggest differences, the absolute biggest differences in changing timelines and universes, is the perceptibility of the people around you, which changes also your perception of. It's a feedback loop. Your perception of the people around you changes, and the perception of them, of you, changes. And that's a feedback loop, and it creates a continuum. A timeline that we both travel on. It's like best friends. It's like having a best friend your entire life who's always there. You guys were born in the same hospital. You went to the same kindergarten. You went to the same fucking middle school. You were on the same baseball teams. You got in the same fucking college. You both, you know, both got girlfriends at the same time, and both got married at the same time, both had kids at the same time. You both get, on vacation at the same time. You go through life with this best friend. You are on a continuum together, okay? You are a continuous path, a continuous universal path. And I just think that's fucking amazing. And I think it's brilliant. And I think, it's something. I wish more people. I wish I knew more writers. I wish I knew more writers. I wish I knew more. Because I don't know any writers. I don't know any writers. One of my thing is that, and Christopher Nolan talks about this in a kind of a weird way. Not in a weird way. I'm talking about it in a weird way. The way he says it is, he doesn't write anything on computers. He will not do anything on computers or anything connected to the internet. He only writes on pen and paper, on a typewriter, or a computer not connected, like an older computer not connected to the internet. And that's because, in my opinion, consciousness is all connected. Depending on how you do something, consciousness can pick up, it can receive and send. It can receive a signal, send a signal. Like a satellite. That's what consciousness really is. It's this big satellite. It's like we're all connected to T-Mobile network. We're all connected to Verizon. We're all connected to Sprint, even though it doesn't exist. AT&T. We're all connected to TNT. That's what consciousness is, biatch. That's what consciousness is, biatch. We are all fucking connected to this network. We are all connected to this network. But we're all using it in our own ways. Bro, somebody needs to take me over to fucking Mensa. Somebody needs to take me over to the Smithsonian. But isn't that crazy? Because that is the truth. That is the truth of it. And I've always, and one of the bases of the story is, the reality you are in is only your reality. There is a singular fixed point of consciousness for any specific continuum, any specific timeline. Because, yes, there is a multiverse, but how does the multiverse look? How does it operate? How many variations are there of a singular event? And the answer is an infinite amount, because the universe is a fractal. It keeps going, it keeps folding in on itself. Like Astro, like Interstellar. Like when he goes into the higher dimensions in Interstellar. Like when Flash is in the Speed Force, and you're seeing fractals. The thing about, one other reason I haven't completed this work and haven't forced myself to complete this work and have allowed myself a lot of time, a lot of space, it's because it's scary when you tap into the truth, when you tap into what reality is, when you realize how flexible reality and consciousness are, how flexible time and space are, what variations there could be and are, and how you're navigating it. Because, like I said, the network picks it up, consciousness picks it up. It's not just you with consciousness, it may just be your continuum where you're going down this timeline and you're seeing synchronicities throughout space and time around you that directly reflect moments in time or ideas or thoughts or or experiences or traumas or whatever it is. Just like the Flash. Because if you watch the Flash again, if you watch the Flash again, if you watch the Flash again, those ripples, and when he gets into the Speed Force, the moments around him that he sees, they are extreme moments. They are extreme, high, emotional, impactful moments when he first sees Iris West. When Superman comes back to life and you know they're expecting him to be good, but he's like a crazy motherfucker at this point. Um, when his mom dies, you know, um, all moments in his life that are highly emotional, that are land